What's up, gamers? It's your boy, the Show Bullet 8, back again with another video. And today we are back in the kitchen. So you know what that means. It's cooking with Bullet. So today's dish we're going to be making is fried rice. This is a very simple dish, absolutely delicious when you do it right. And of course, most people, are typically going to get fried rice when they're doing carry out, something along the lines of that. But they're also very afraid to make it at home. It's not something you should be scared of. In fact, it's really, really simple. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to make it today. So the first thing I'm gonna say is the rice. The rice is really important, all right? The rice should be made at least a day, possibly 2 days in advance. And I've already made my rice. I should have actually recorded that just to show you how to do it as well. But if you don't know, it's pretty simple. Go ahead and use a couple of cups of rice, depending on how much you're actually planning on making. And then you're gonna wash the rice. When you wash the rice, what you wanna do is keep it inside of a nice, big bowl big enough for you to be able to do this, but run cold water over the rice, kind of swirl it around. What you'll see is the actual water will become white and murky. And what's happening is the starches are being pulled off of the rice. Now, you're gonna wanna do that at least 5 to 7 times. Typically, if I'm washing my rice, I'm doing it 7 different times. The only way 7 times. What you're doing is washing it off, draining it, going back in, more cold water, swirl it around, drain it again, and you're gonna just do that constantly. Now, the reason why you do this is because it actually will create nice, fluffy, sticky rice where the grains aren't actually just clumped up together and things like that. And when you allow it to sit for a day or two, that actually helps that process. So it'll dry out and then you'll just be able to crumble the rice into the dish that you're making. The only time that you ever want to just make standard rice without washing it, sometimes if you're just making dinner in a hurry or whatnot, or if you're making something like rice pilaf, because then that starch and stuff like that is actually necessary. But if you're ever making something like fried rice or sushi rice, for instance, you actually want to wash that rice. I'm quite upset because in doing this, and I realized this a little while ago and I keep forgetting, I'm like, I need to get a new one. I keep trying to remind myself, and I'm going to do it now. I've just stuck a big note on the wall saying, buy a new wok. Yes, a wok. If you don't have one, it's okay. You can still make the dish, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. If you have a cast iron skillet, that actually works as well. But the reason why you want a wok specifically is because of that surface area that it has and the ability for it to heat up very, very quickly. Because a lot of dishes, especially if you're making Asian dishes, stir fries, fried rice, things like that, it's that ability to heat up so quickly on all sides with the wok in and of itself. And while you're tossing your dish and things like that and it's hitting those sides, it's a very, very even heat. The other thing that I wasn't able to get is actually a couple of things. Number one, when I ordered everything to make this, I ordered the Thai chili peppers. I ordered red ones, green ones, and a couple of yellow ones as well. They did not somehow have them. They brought me yellow peppers that when I cut into them, I tasted them, and they are very, very close to both the flavor and the heat of the yellow Thai peppers. The only thing is the size is larger, and I'm gonna break them down so that they're small enough to cook evenly with the rest of the dish. And then the other thing, I was unable to get MSG. MSG, if you did not know, it's salt on crack, okay? It is the top flavor profile that you want in a lot of Asian foods. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, MSG, it's so bad for you. Stop being a pussy, okay? First off, MSG is not horrible for you. You could overdo salt, you can overdo anything. Everything in its right balance. And then besides that, a lot of people also want to say, oh, it gives me headaches, it does all of this, that, and the other. And the truth of it is, a lot of the foods that you actually eat on a day-to-day basis, chips and things of that nature being a huge part of it, actually have MSG in them. And in fact, Doritos, Takis, Cheetos, if you're a lover of those, monosodium glutamate is one of the ingredients in there. So those are the things that I'm lacking, but this dish is still gonna turn out fire. And what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be making shrimp and smoked pork belly fried rice. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so here's some of the stuff we've got right here and what we're gonna be using to make our fried rice. First off, I've got scallions or green onions. Then we've got garlic, we've got a shallot, got the green pepper. I've got 2 eggs, and the 2 eggs are actually going to be broken down to where I'm using 1 whole egg plus 1 egg yolk. Now, just to go ahead and get things started, first off, I'm gonna break down the garlic. As I've showed you guys before, take your garlic, put it down, smash it, and that's gonna bring the skin right off of it. And I'm gonna be using 4 cloves of garlic. And in this case, this is not gonna be like the pasta dishes I usually make, where I make slivers of garlic. This is actually going to be broken down and diced, all right? And I would say don't use that garlic that comes out of the jar for this one. This you actually want to be fresh garlic. So let's go ahead and get this broken down somewhat, and we'll go back over it again, give it the old rocking motion. Bring it all together. There we go. We're good. Next up, I'm gonna go ahead and take the green onions. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the back end of them off that you don't wanna use there. That's on the white section. And then you're gonna take the green right about there. Take that right off. And then go ahead and just break that down. Now, I'm gonna use the green onion in 2 different ways in the dish, all right? Primarily, green onion is actually more so meant to be the garnish at the end of making the fried rice, but some people actually do cook some of the green onions while the fried rice is being cooked. Yeah, that made sense. This pepper, how depressing that it wasn't the one that I wanted, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead, slice it right down the middle, and then right there, take that out there. The seeds and everything else, who cares? Like, seriously, they're not gonna kill you. And besides that, if you were using the Thai chili peppers, I'd tell you right now to go ahead and make sure that they were in there. Now, I sliced them into slivers like this, and the reason why is because I want to be able to give them a small enough dice. With the Thai chili peppers, they're usually a lot smaller, so you can cut them into circular rings, very small, thin circular rings, and you're perfectly fine. But in this case, this is a big pepper. I can't just cut that into rings because, number one, it's going to be oddly shaped for one and look awkward in my fried rice, and I don't want that. And I want it to cook evenly along with everything else that's smaller in shape and size as well. All right, that should be enough right there, more than enough to go into this fried rice here. All right, so we've got all of that stuff done. All right, so next up is the shallot. All right, some people will probably want to use onion in this. You can, but why? Just get a shallot. Now, with the shallot, some shallots actually come almost having a flat surface area to it. In this case, not so much. I can actually cut through this no issue, but as I always try and tell you all, to keep yourself safe is one of the most important things in the kitchen. So in this case, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna slice the very base off of this to give us a flat surface to sit this on. And I'm actually going to use that flat base in a different way. Now, we've got the flat base. What you're gonna wanna do is, this is actually pretty, pretty small here. You know what? I am going to make 2 slices down. I'm going to make a slice at the very bottom, going through, but not all the way to the back. All right. This right here can come right off. Beautiful. Then I'm going to do a second one just above. Again, not going all the way to the back. And then I'm going to take, I'm actually going to take this and make slices down here, a couple of inches, well, not even inches, just slightly over a couple centimeters, you might want to call that, right there, again and again and again. And be very careful while doing this with the rounded edges until we have that. And I did not slice all the way to the back. It's about there. So it's leaving easily about an inch or so of space to the back of the shallot itself. All right. Now what we're going to do is just go ahead and voila. I mean, that is more than enough. I do like the taste of it though. There we go. All right. We're not following any recipe, anything like that. We are going off of what we know as far as being in the kitchen. So we've got all of that broken down. That is going to be the primary base of your fried rice, besides, of course, the rice. Now, I'm gonna go ahead. I've already got the pork belly. I've got that taken care of already. It's sitting off to the side. I have it ready to go into the dish. And I'm just gonna go ahead and take the shrimp and chop those up into smaller bite-sized pieces, okay? I may as well go ahead and get the egg ready as well, because once we get this going, that's it, we're done. Flat surface it, and then go ahead and boop, it's one. And now for this one here, we're gonna do, I almost screwed up right then and there. I have a trash bowl, there it is. This is my trash bowl here. And if you're wondering what that is, that's actually fried shrimp shells. There's a reason why I have these, and they're gonna come into play in a moment, or I'll tell you exactly why in a moment. They already came into play. Now, we're gonna crack this open, and we're gonna just take the egg yolk and let the actual egg whites run right off. We don't want that right now. It's not that it's bad, but I prefer doing it this way when making the fried rice. Normally, when I make it in a huge amount, I'm gonna use 2, maybe 3 eggs plus 1 extra egg yolk. All right, so we've got that taken care of. We're good, we're golden. All right, so toss this out, clean my hands off, and we'll get right back to it. We've got everything all ready, and I've got the eggs here. All I'm doing is just going ahead and, mixing up the egg and the egg yolk itself, getting that ready. We're gonna treat this the same way that I would actually tell you to treat it if you were cooking with a wok. What I mean by that, the first thing you should actually do, and I probably should have had this done before I actually, switched positions, had this already going, but I'm gonna turn on the stove and I'm gonna let the skillet heat up, but I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of oil in there. Now, the oil I just put in there will not stay in here. Right now, I just want this to, if you were using a wok, you would be seasoning the wok itself, all right? I want this to heat up, and then I'm gonna take that oil and pour it off, and we're gonna put new oil in with the already heated up skillet. This is the oil we're actually gonna be using. If you remember, I showed you the shrimp shells that were sitting off in the, my now trash bowl. Well, that was actually put into oil, cooked down, and then they just steeped in there while it was cooling. So I made shrimp oil, okay? And that's what we're gonna be cooking everything in. Let's keep this moving around here. It's on a nice high heat. This should all cook pretty quickly. And again, once that's done heating up to the point that I want it to be heated up to, I'm gonna go ahead and pour that off, and then we're gonna use some of the shrimp oil in there instead of this oil. You have to replace the oil when you're making this dish and you're cooking in a wok. Typically when you're cooking in a wok and you're cooking any dish in a wok, any stir fry, anything at all, you wanna go ahead and season the wok first and then remove that oil and put new oil in. And warning, the only two types of oil I advise you to use when you're making fried rice or anything for that matter, only vegetable oil or peanut oil. If you're allergic to peanut oil, use vegetable oil. Do not use extra virgin olive oil. Do not use sesame oil. Sesame oil is meant to be a finisher to your dishes, not to actually use while during the cooking process. Grapeseed oil, all that other stuff is an absolute no-no. And the reason why is you have to remember, all oils have their own cooking point, smoking point, and burning point, okay? And the flavor actually affects the dishes as well. And in this case, again, vegetable oil or peanut oil. That's about ready to go. And you see how it kind of shimmers across. You probably couldn't see that. I can see it a lot better than you can. Once I'm able to set up things differently, have bigger kitchen, whatever the case may be, this is gonna go a whole lot better as far as doing these cooking videos. Now I'm gonna pour this oil off into my trash bowl. Now that we've got that done, I'm gonna go ahead and add some of the shrimp oil in here, a pretty decent amount of it. Trust me, you want a pretty decent amount of oil going in here when you're making this. I mean, that actually might have been a little bit excessive, but then again, that all depends on how much rice I throw in here as well. You know what? I am gonna pour a little bit of that off. So let's go ahead and get this going. We're gonna drop the shallots in. Now, the reason why you go through that process there is for something that a lot of people call the wok hay. Wok hay, it breaks down to like breath of the wok, okay? I mean, it's something that you absolutely want to see and want to have happen, especially when you're making stir-fried or fried rice. Now I'm gonna go ahead and drop the garlic in there. And you know what? I'm gonna drop the peppers in there as well at the same time. Don't want this stuff to burn. You just want it to get nice and fragrant, and holy crap, it already has. I'm telling you, this goes pretty quick from start to finish once you start cooking. Give that a couple more seconds. And at this point, I can do either the eggs or the rice. And I'm gonna start off with the rice. And there's a reason I'm gonna start off with the rice. And as you see, like I said, this rice is nice and dry. Going in here, we're gonna use a pretty good amount of this. Of course, as you guys know, it always upsets me the fact that, you know, I'm not on a fire stove anymore and I don't like the size of this one, everything else. But again, all that stuff will get taken care of in due time. So we're dropping in, this is gonna be a good amount of rice. I don't know why I'm bullshitting and playing around right now. Let's go ahead, but I mean, you can see how it's all coming down. There's a couple of clumps there, but those are gonna break down very, very quickly as I start moving this. You know, I should have actually, forgetting that, you know, I'm not in a wok where I can make the center hole there. I should have actually gone with the egg first. Get that all broken down. And you know what? While I've still got it this way, let's go ahead and do it. Get that egg in there. Go ahead and swirl that around right now. We don't want it to, you know, just sit in one place. Perfect, that's actually perfect. And that worked out just the way it should have worked out anyway. Perfect. Keep that going. You want the egg to be nice and fluffy. And you know what? This can actually call for more rice. And the rice I actually cooked in stock as well. And this is another reason why you want to wok. You want this, I mean, this needs to be constantly hot. And overcrowding a pan is a real thing. So be very careful if you are just using a normal skillet. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and hit it with this green onions that are there. Now at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and drop in the pork belly, that smoked pork belly. Very hard to toss this amount of rice inside of this actual skillet. And the cook time takes a little bit longer than what it actually should in my eyes. All right, turn those off. We got nice little crispy scallions there. Give this a good toss. There we go. Oh yeah, and you get a little bit of color down there on the actual rice itself. But we're not done yet. There's a couple of things that need to go in here. First off, make sure you got some good soy sauce. Go ahead and hit that around. That's where a part of that color is gonna come from. And that salt, a little bit of the salt factor. Next up, there's a couple of different things you can use in this case. I'm using sambal oelek. I did not have sambal belacan. There's a slight difference between the two, but I always, as you guys know, always have sambal oelek in my refrigerator. That's just, that's how we roll. All right, good, perfect. Oh yeah, and everything's starting to get nice little color. Oh my goodness, smells amazing. And then next up, we're gonna go ahead and throw the shrimp in. It's about that time. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and throw the shrimp in. The shrimp is seasoned, it's with salt, pepper, and there's something called shichimi togarashi, which is a 7-spice powder, Japanese spice powder, which I always have here as well, because it adds that little extra amount of spice. Of course, it's not something you're gonna probably find in a Chinese dish, but it is what it is. Oh shit, fuck. You know what? Gotta give me some space here. It is what it is. There we go. And we're gonna let this go ahead and finish off. Let the shrimp cook. Let the rice finish. The shrimp does not take long at all. And the reason why you're putting that in at the end is because of the fact that you don't want tough, overcooked shrimp, okay? Everything in here is nice and, just cooked perfectly. I hope it turns out right as far as taste. I'm still upset again about the whole idea of not having any MSG. There's gonna be a couple of finishing touches here. First off, black pepper is one of those. A nice little amount of black pepper. And a little bit more salt. I mean, considering I don't have MSG, and I didn't use a whole ton of soy sauce, because I'm probably gonna hit my rice with soy sauce at the end again. Give that a whole little sprinkle down there. And then toss it up. Oh yeah, see now it has come together the way that it should. There we go. And then, final touch, good old sesame oil. We're just gonna dab, hit it with a nice little dab. Nothing, okay, there we go, now it came out. There we go. Sesame oil can be strong, be very careful with the amount you use. And hey, let's go ahead and give it another toss. I mean, honestly, I don't know why I trip. It doesn't matter the size of the skillet or anything and the amount that's in there. I can still toss it. It's just that I get upset if I waste any of the food and let it splash out. There's very few grains of rice out here. That's it. Get this off the stove. Get ready to go ahead and plate it up. I'll be back in a minute. And there we go. Perfect fried rice. All right, everybody. There it is. That fried rice it's perfect. So what you're seeing as far as the brown bits, the strips that are there, what I did is I took that bottom half of the scallion, or I'm sorry, the shallot, and actually, cut it into strips, fried it off in the shrimp oil so they're nice and crispy, and then went ahead and just put that right on top as part of the garnish as well. Like, my mouth is watering smelling this, so I got to go ahead and try it out. Let's check it out. Try and get a nice little piece of that. Oh yeah. Get the shrimp, the pork belly, green onion, scallion, all of it. Yo, I gotta go. I'm about to. Oh my God! And if you think I won't eat that whole plate, I'm about to right now. That is so. It is so good, so damn good. Look. Hold on, I'm stuck right now. Wow. If you've never tried making fried rice at home, seriously, try this recipe. It's gonna blow your mind. If you have a wok and everything else, it's gonna be that much easier for you. I will have a wok hopefully next time. I just remember to go ahead and get a wok. Send me a damn wok, I don't care. But hey, everyone, thanks a million for watching. At this point, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. You guys know how this goes. I'm the Shell Bullet 8. I'm about to destroy this plate. And on that note, I'm out. Peace.